Hi, this is Steve Haas again. In this video, we're going to discuss the utility section. Now, as you can see here, the utility section has 7 different functions in them. I'm going to take them one at a time and go through each, and it's probably going to wind up being the longest video in the entire series, so please be patient and bear with me. Now, this is the email encoder and decoder function, and you may be thinking to yourself, what the heck's that all about? Well, if you've ever published your email publicly, you probably get a ton of spam. The reason why is what happens is a lot of people have scraping tools that will go out and scrape your email address. So to prevent that in most situations, we've created this email encoder and decoder. Let me kind of give you an example of what it does. I'm going to use the admin email for Web Detective. And I'm going to hit encode. Pops up and it shows you the actual email address that I typed, and here's the encoded version. It's a string of characters and numbers and so forth. I'm going to copy and paste this into a text file. And then I'm going to save that text file as an HTML document. Now let me show you how this works. When you click on it to bring up the HTML, you see that it only shows you the actual email address rather than all the text code. That's because inside of all the browsers, it's capable of creating this decoded email address. But if someone is scraping with a scraping tool, chances are all they're going to get is garbage. So that's the purpose of this tool here, is to prevent you from being, your email from being scraped. Now you can also reverse the process. So let's take the output that it generated. Let's do it again. This time I'm just going to take the encoded part of it, copy it, and I'm going to paste it in here. And then I'm going to hit start decoding. And as you can see, there's my email address. So this is a nice little tool, like I said, to help you prevent having, if you have to publish your email, if you use this tool, you'll be able to do it without hopefully getting your stuff scraped. This tool is the meta tag generator, and what it'll do is it'll help you create your meta tags that you'll need for your HTML to be placed on your website. As we know, meta tags are more or less hidden in the header section of your HTML page, and it's used by the search engines to index your websites based on whatever your keywords are, your site description, etc. So we have created a meta tag generator for you that will create meta tags for Google, Facebook, and Twitter. So you can put a description of whatever your site is about, like awesome dog training tips. And then, of course, you put in your keywords: dog training, dog collars, dog grooming, etc. Then the author, Steve Haas, copyright, the Dogington Post. And the application name could be whatever you want it to be if it's about something, or you can leave it blank. And then click generate, and you can download it. And there's your meta tag, all ready to go. You can just copy and paste that into your web page or your website, and it's ready to go. The next tool I want to discuss is the Plagiarism Checker. Now, what the Plagiarism Checker does is you can grab anywhere minimum of 10 words up to 500 words maximum. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over here to Wikipedia, and I'm just going to grab some random paragraph or two here, and I'm just going to copy and paste that in to the Plagiarism Checker. Now you can upload a file or whatever you prefer, but I just copy and paste, simple enough. And it hits start checking. Now the plagiarism tool is going to go out and it's going to scan to see if the text actually exists anywhere. So as you can see, it breaks it down like line by line and sees if the text is being used anywhere. So that way you can know if your stuff is unique or not. So as you can see here, it's showing that 60% of it is unique. So that's a unique article. So that way you can tell if someone is plagiarizing your content or someone else's content. And that way it kind of keeps you on the straight and narrow as far as content creation goes. The next tool I really want to talk about is the valid email checker. This is a email validator that will go out and you can just either upload a file with your email list, or you could, copy and paste your emails and so forth into the validator and have it check for valid emails. I have a list that I've prepared that's right here, and I'm just going to copy and paste a few of these in here and start searching. And you can see how quickly this performs. You can either download this as a CSV or a text file, and it shows you how many valid email addresses were found. So when you go to view it, you can see which ones were valid and which ones weren't, such as this one here. That was an invalid email. So instead of spending a ton of money on email validation services, you have it right here inside of Web Detective. The next tool that we're going to discuss is the duplicate email filter. Now, with this one checks for duplicates. So if you have a big list and you're trying to clean your list out, this is a great little tool. You just copy and paste or upload your email list and hit start searching, and it tells you how many total emails it found and how many were unique. So that you can go in here and you can sort them out, and it gives you the list of the cleaned emails. So that way you don't have to worry about going through it and figuring out which ones are duplicates and which ones aren't. You can just copy and paste this list back into your whatever tool you're using for your email, and you have a clean list. And the last tool I want to discuss is the robot code generator. Now, for those of you who may not be aware, robot codes are what determines when your website's being crawled by a search engine or similar crawler as to what it's allowed to check, what it's not allowed to check. So if you want to allow or prevent various parts of your website from being crawled, then you can do the refused. You can also delay the crawl if you want. I'm going to set it at no delay. Then you put in your sitemap here. So for this example, I'm going to take one of my sitemaps from one of my websites and paste it in here. Let me get rid of that period. And then what I could do here is I could go through it. I could tell which bots could crawl or not crawl based on whatever criteria I want. So if I don't want Google to crawl this particular site or whatever, or specific bots, I can add them here. And then I can put in whatever directory that I don't want them to have access to right here. So beneath this video, I'm going to go ahead and put in written instructions for each one of these utilities so you can have a little bit better understanding. I just wanted to demonstrate it here. All right, see you in the next video.